Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to Madam Safrina and everyone. Today we will be presenting our review on the financial accounting and reporting of a sole proprietorship or partnership based on SS Suraya Mart, the business we have selected. Our group members consist of SITI MARSHEILLA, MUAZ, AMEERA, SYAZWAN, and lastly myself, AZALINA. First and foremost, I would like to emphasize our objective of this presentation. The purpose of this study are to identify the type of business organization, to understand the business characteristics, and to define the classification of business items involved in its operation. In addition, this study aims to illustrate the recording process used and to identify the strengths and weaknesses of the business. This objective will guide our analysis and help us gain a clearer understanding of how the business operates from an accounting perspective. Next, I will be presenting a bit for the business background. SS Suraya Mart is a sole proprietorship business, which means the business was owned by only one owner. SS Suraya Mart is located at Kampung Pandan Dalam, Kuala Lumpur, and operating every day from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. SS Suraya Mart is a retail business that specializes in selling a variety of frozen dishes. They offer around 15 types of frozen lauk, mainly traditional kampung-style dishes, including ayam rendang, rendang daging, and their most popular item, masak lemak. This business operates as a retail business that focuses on frozen food and convenience mart items. The main activity of the business includes selling frozen dishes as well as convenience smart items such as food products and daily essentials. SS Suraya Mart was owned by Ms. Suraya Binti Zulkarnain. The business is fully managed by the owner on a full-time basis. SS Suraya Mart began its operation in October 2023. The name SS actually comes from the owner's original catering business called Satay Station. The recipes used in Suraya Mart are also taken from the Satay Station catering menu, so the name was kept to maintain the original brand identity. The business is officially registered under the Akta Pendaftaran Perniagaan 1956 with the Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia SSM. The business registration date stated in the SSM registration is 25 October 2024 with the registration number 2024-03281512. This ensures that the business operates legally and follows the required business regulation in Malaysia. The business was fully contributed by the owner with an initial investment of approximately RM30,000. This capital was allocated as follows: RM10,000 for raw ingredients, RM10,000 for packaging materials, RM12,000 for the shop signboard, and RM5,000 for marketing and advertisement. That is all for the business background of SS Suraya Mart. I will now pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Madam Safrina and my fellow friend. My name is Siti MARSHEILLA HANI BINTI SHAARI. Today I will presenting about business characteristic of SS Suraya Mart, which operate as a sole proprietorship. First is ownership. Ownership is owned by one person, which Puan Suraya Binti Zulkarnain. She has a full responsibility and a full authority over entire the business. For example, she personally manage for the online business and the online order through the application, which from the GrabFood and Shopee Food by herself. Next is capital. The capital of SS Suraya Mart comes from her personal saving and a financial support from her family business, which Satay Station. So I believe in the capitals investment needed to start to run a business provided by the owner. Another characteristic in a sole proprietorship is unlimited liability. For the unlimited liability, the owner and the business are legally the same. So if the business faces the debt or any problems, the personal asset can be used to settle the debts. For the unlimited liability, Puan Suraya carries a full financial risk. Next is we have a profit or loss. Any profit earned by the business belong completely to the owner. However, if the business experiences the losses, the owner also has to pay all the costs by herself, because in a sole proprietorship, There is no sharing profit or loss with anyone else. Next is for management and control. Everything is handled by Puan Suraya. She manages the operation, make a business decision, oversee workers, and control all the daily activities in the store. Lastly, for the business characteristic is the books and account. In a sole proprietorship, there is no legal obligation to keep a formal accounting record. However, Puan Suraya is practiced to get a basic account, monitor her finance, and cure the business. This practice helps to track her sales, expenses, and stock more effectively. On our interview with the owner of SS Raya Mart, we learned that the business was started with a clear purpose and strong personal commitment. SS Raya Mart operates as a small retail business that focuses to providing a frozen food. In relation for the business assumption of SS Raya Mart that applies to first is going concern, second is identity concept. From our observation, SS Raya Mart operate under the going concern because Puan Suraya is expected to continue operating for the long term. Even the business may experience a low sale and the business is typically achieve higher sales during Ramadan or Raya seasons. And the owner remains committed to sustain and has no intention of closing it. She adopt a slow and steady growth strategy because there's allowing customer to recognize the brand and build trust in the product. Is the entity concept. All business transactions of SS Rema are recorded separately from the owner personal finance. Even the owner use the personal funds or purchase terms on behalf of the business, these transactions are treated as business related and has a proper record. This helps ensure accurate financial record between personal and business activities. In conclusion, SS Raya Mart reflects a key of a sole proprietorship as a one owner using a personal capital, the liability, full control by the owner, and complete responsibility for the profit or loss. Thank you so much from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is MOHAMAD FIRDAUS. Today I want to present about the classification of business items SS Suraya Mart. Based on the data we have gathered, we have categorized the business transactions and resource into the standard elements of financial statements, which is assets, liabilities, equity, revenues, and expenses. First, let's look at the assets. Since SS Suraya Mart operates as a frozen foods and a convenience store, its asset structure is heavily focused on a storage and preservation equipments. We have classified the following items as the non-current assets because they are held for use in the productions or supplies of goods and are expected to be used for more than one accounting periods. Okay, firstly, the cooling equipment. The business owns 4 units of display fridge used for the frozen ready-made food, 1 refrigerator specifically for storing Thai sauce and a chilled ingredient, and 2 units of closed freezer for raw ingredients. Second, the business also owns 2 units of air conditioner to maintain the shop ambience and quality of goods. Moving on to liabilities, this is a very interesting point regarding SS Suraya Mart financial health. Our investigation, we have found out that the business does not have any non-current or current liabilities. There's no bank loans and no external debts recorded. This indicates that SS Suraya Mart operates on a zero gearing ratio, meaning the business is fully funded by equity and carries a very low financial risk regarding solvency. All equipment and operating costs are fully covered by the owner internal funds. Let's move into equity. Since there are no liability, the business fundings come strictly from the owner's equity. We have classified the funding into 2 main categories, which is initial capital. This is the owner-owned capital used to purchase the assets I mentioned earlier. And second, the additional capital, we also identify an external source of funding from a related family business, SATI station. They provided an additional capital injections of just under 30,000 ringgit. In our accounting records, we treat this 30,000 ringgit not as a revenue but as a capital contribution. This inflow of cash out supports the earlier setups or working capital needed by the marts. Let's classify the items that affect the statement of profit or loss. For revenue, SS Suraya Mart earns its income through sale revenue. This is generated daily for customer purchases of frozen food and or the items. Although sales happen every day, the business adopts a practice of preparing sales records and reports on a weekly basis. This allows them to monitor stock performance effectively. For expenses, to generate this revenue, the business incurs operating expenses. We have classified the following as recurring expenses, which is a shop rental, electricity bills, which are likely significant given the numbers of freezers, and water bills. These are classified as revenue expenditures because they are consumed within the accounting period to keep the business running smoothly. To summarize my part, SS Sulaiman presents a straightforward financial structure. It is an asset-heavy, debt-free, business-funded entirely by capital. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is MUAZ bin Ali SABRI from class NBH1A. So today I want to present about the recording process of the business from SS Surayamat. The first point is record all the transaction business in apps, kite, and using notebook for manual record. Okay, the first point for the recording process in the business, the owner used two methods to record daily sales and expenses. First, the owner writes everything in a notebook for quick manual recording. Second, the owner also used a mobile app called KYTE, Kite, to organize and track transaction more efficiently. And for your information, the monthly fee for this Kite or app is only 30 ringgit. For the second point is financial statement are prepared in and year only. The owner keeps all receipt and invoice for every transaction, even though all payments are made in cash of the business is supported by the owner's own capital. These documents are kept for proper record keeping and for monthly and the year-end financial review. All financial records are maintained and reviewed by the owner only. This includes keeping receipt, updating the notebook and the guide app, and checking whether the business makes a profit or a loss each year. The business only prepare financial statement at the end of the year because the daily sales are not very high. Monthly financial statements are not necessary. The last point is determining profit or loss business. To determine profit or loss, the owner focus on whether the business can cover its essential costs. The goal for now is to sustain the business, not to make a big profit immediately. But the business is still new and it is supported by extra capital from the owner's other business, which is a wedding planning service. Since customer awareness is still growing, the owner relies more on online promotion rather than hard selling. This means the return is lower. Profit or loss is usually seen through online marketing results and seasonal sales, especially during Ramadan and Hari Raya. For my observation, for my part is business owner manage financial records using two main methods, namely manual entries in notebooks and the use of the CAD application to ensure that daily transactions are recorded more systematically. All receipt and invoice are kept well, even though transactions are carried out in a cash and using their own capital. The owner is also fully responsible for maintaining and reviewing financial records to evaluate business performance. Financial statements are only prepared at the end of the year because the daily sales volume is still low. In determining profit or loss, the main focus of the business to cover operating costs and ensure business continuity in line with the status of the business that is still new and dependent on online promotion and seasonal sales. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum everyone and Madam Saflina. My name is AMEERA BINTI MOHD. Based on the recording process of the business as discussed by MUAZ, we also identified the strengths and weaknesses that it had during the operations of the business. I figured out we can obtain the information by doing the SWOT analysis. I will explain some of the pros and cons of the system that the business has. So, in terms of the strength, for the first one is the simple system for the easy monitoring and recording. Due to its being a new small business with no large amount of daily sales, the owner only has to use a simple and a suitable system like the kite that doesn't overwhelm the owner by doing it alone. This also avoids unnecessary hiring only for an accountant or any advanced accounting software like AutoCount or the SQL. The owner also chooses kite because it is affordable, convenient for small businesses, and helps summarize sales daily, weekly, monthly, and annually. The owner believes that this is already suitable for the business needs. The second strength is the dual recording system. It was mentioned earlier that the owner used two methods by using the kite application and the manual notebook with written data of daily sales. This dual method improves data accuracy and provides a backup if one source is incomplete or missing. The third strength is systematic bookkeeping. The owner also mentioned that she keeps every receipt and invoices with the fact that she uses cash for, if not all, almost all transactions. This shows proper bookkeeping of financial transactions and prevents future disputes, supports transparency, and provides evidence for year-end financial statements. We also figured out the weaknesses of the financial recording process. The first one is the one-person responsibility. All financial records are maintained and reviewed solely by the owner. This includes keeping receipts, updating both the manual notebook and the kite application, and also evaluating whether the business makes a profit or loss each year. Even if it ensures accuracy, the task is only dependent on one person only, and in a situation where the owner might be unavailable or sick, some transactions may be delayed or overlooked. There is no other person to cross-check the data entries. The second weakness is the human error during the multitasking. Mrs. Suraya told us about how staff sometimes handle multiple tasks at once, and this can cause missing items or sales that are not recorded properly when there is too much workload. This sometimes immediately affects the accuracy of the daily records of the business financially. The third one is the dependency on the manual recording. While keeping the written records are good for backups, there can be hiccups when there are common errors such as miscalculations, smudge writings, and also messy handwriting. They are prone to be misplaced and damaged as well. And over time, as the business grows, manual recording may become too time-consuming and inefficient. Let's take a look at the opportunities aspect in the SWOT analysis. The first one is using financial data to grow the business. More accurate financial data can guide decisions such as pricing adjustments, online marketing investment, and product expansion. Over time, better insights can help the business scale, apply for funding, or even expand into new markets. For example, like the owner said that the sales are most good during festival seasons like Ramadan and also Hari Raya. The second opportunity is for the business to hire an accountant. Hiring a part-time accountant or consultant could help with setting up proper bookkeeping practices, reviewing records, and providing professional advice for tax planning and also profitability. How about the trick? The one that I can figure out is simple system may struggle with more sales. If the business grows and transactions increases, the current simple recurring method may no longer be sufficient. The owner may struggle to keep up with manual entries. Growth without improved system could cause problems in the near future. Mrs. Suraya's opinion on how important accurate financial records for the owner is, they help to determine whether the business is making a profit or a loss. These records also serve as a reference for future decisions and can guide the owner in planning improvements or also strategies to slowly grow the business over time. These are some pictures that our group representative, MARSHEILLA and MUAZ, with the business owner Mrs. Suraya, and also the products that were sold there. Some of the items that were sold in the business is the bottle products, frozen products, and also the best-selling products that are also shown in a menu. In conclusion, we have gained insight into how the business owner manages the financial system and how the important role it plays in ensuring the continuity and smooth operation of the business. And that's all from us. Thank you.